Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Mokono Man at YouTube with another airbrush video. The second part of the Gaahleri sponsor partner review video. The GHAD double action gravity feed with normal trigger 39, leading from general purpose to final work. Shipped in a couple of days by Amazon, no damage. Inside the nicely printed box with a sleeve. On the reverse side of the top cover is the exploded view and breakdown of all the parts. Uses an assembly guide or catalogue. Paperwork starting with a thank you letter and a little leaflet to get you started on painting guide, troubleshooting and how to. We will not be following it. A foam insert holding all the components. A tube of lubricant. Extra O-rings, a 0.5mm needle and nozzle, already built in for 0.35, 2 paint reservoir cups with friction fit lids, all in steel at a high polished finish, all retailing for a very reasonable $75. With minimal requirements and restrictions, I've only been asked to use this airbrush and showcase it with my work. I've been granted permission to review and demonstrate its use, setup and maintenance, and shall be given an absolute honest opinion, all showcase on camera and photo. Besides the two brushes, I have not received any financial aid and will be refusing the affiliate program. On the website, I do like the availability and pricing, their commitment and support of the Gundam and other scale modelling community, spreading these airbrushes out to other creators. Lastly, making all of the consumable and extra parts available for separate sale, including O-rings, needles and nozzles. The pricing is also a fraction of other major big name brands. With great care, the first thing we always do with a new system or airbrush is dismantle it and reassemble to learn its function and how it goes together. For a first time, do this a few times. The lubricant is the viscosity and similar type to petroleum jelly, such as Vaseline. Removing the cap, it does need to be cut open and dispenses just the right amount. I'm using a Q-tip. The components we shall be lightly greasing up is the internals of the main body, needle packer and air valve end, the brass bottom of the trigger, which only needs a light amount, the entirety of the needle guide, which is a part of the trigger assembly, and the inside of the sleeve that covers the needle guide for the trigger assembly. The design and assembly is very similar to a Hyoscene E-Water, or an older version with a separate tongue to needle guide. This needs to be dropped in an S shape with the lip over the end of the opening and kept in this orientation. It's a very small part to a large opening, so it is extremely difficult. Guide the trigger through, making sure the brass bit goes all the way into the air valve part. With the many airbrushes I've assembled over the years, this was quite frustrating and not the easiest. It will take a few goes. If you're a complete beginner, don't be disheartened if you have to keep repeating it. The trigger assembly is the same as any other setup. The spring goes over the needle guide. Thread end, the sleeve goes over the needle guide. Pinching the thread of the needle guide, you push it all the way until it pushes up against the tongue and screw in, pushing the whole assembly back. By exercising it, the needle guide should pop in and out. Be careful as it can all undo until the needle goes in. Next, the output crown assembly. The needle cover and crown fan tip screws together into one. The airbrush is a plug O-ring type and slots straight inside. Then it's threaded onto the front of the airbrush. Important to keep it nice and finger tight, as you may get low pressure and bubbles outputting the paint cup. The needle and needle nut. Assuming your trigger assembly is assembled correctly and functional, feed your needle through the needle guide very carefully, especially where it gets up to the trigger, and gently push it through the needle O-ring. If there is no resistance, push all the way through, seating it to the nozzle. Unfortunately, we can't see the needle tip. The end sticks out 20-25 mil. the rear cover and needle stopper. This is important not to bend the needle or extrude the needle through the nozzle. Thread the needle stopper into the rear cover and the cover on the back of the airbrush. The little window to the needle nut is very neat. You can also see the end of the needle stopper and adjust it where it stops and restricts the trigger visually, which is an amazing demonstration of this function. The air valve is fairly standard, though have not tested for cross compatibility. It's nice and springy. And lastly, the reservoir cup threads right on top. Excluding the very start regarding the tongue and trigger slide through, assembly's pretty easy, very well fits, high quality and Teflon O-rings all over the place. It's ready and solvent paint safe. The hose attaches to the air valve, which is a standard 1/8 inch thread and fits across almost all standard hobby and mini compressors. I'll be using a small cheap plastic one that has a max output of 11 to 15 psi with a water filter underneath. I'll be conducting the tests with a mediocre lacquer hobby paint, thinned with hardware store bought automotive grade thinner and mixed externally from the airbrush to prevent clogging. The viscosity is watery and tested by swirling in a clear cup, looking for a transparent stick. Poured into the airbrush with the lid on, and the initial test pattern has ideal flow. The handling, tight pattern, lack of overspray and clean gradient is pretty much the same as the trigger type. Producing medium to thin lines is pretty effortless and pencil line is very easy to adjust for. Pulling back, it's got reasonable coverage and dusts on the same. At this point we're going into preferences, but it goes into the build of the airbrush. Control, aim and producing small dots, circles, the S's, the squares is a lot easier as I've got my finger on top of the trigger, and it's very easy how I've practiced and learned airbrushing over the years. Where I point is where paint lands, which is a lot harder to feel out and judge with a pistol trigger grip, but it's mostly due to having very little experience of that. Overall, fits in the hand well, good balance, easy to use and very smooth, no complaint. The plastic spoon test also reflects the overall good performance of this airbrush, perfectly adequate for colouring in model kit parts. For cleaning after use or changing colours, first we're reclaiming the paint, followed by wiping out the cup with toilet paper soaked in thinner. Again, I like the larger reservoir cups even if using a small amount of paint, as I can fit my finger in it comfortably. Lastly, filling with a strong solvent or gun cleaner, I plug up the end and pull the trigger back with the air down to create the jet bubble effect, which mixes all remnant paint with the thinner and flush it all the way through via spraying it out. Due to the well made and polished internals, I only had to do one flush and one wipe for a clean result, nothing coming out on the second spray with thinner. The fan crown also has no paint residue, not requiring any cleaning with a Q-tip. Doing the math in conclusion, considering a cheaper Chinese manufactured airbrush such as a Hysing and the many derivatives out there is anywhere between $20 to $60 from online places to hobby stores and premiums. At the higher end, it's just pretty much an overall better product. It has all the hallmarks of a much higher quality premium airbrush with a name brand anywhere from Iwata to H&S between $100 to $300 retail. It's easy to operate and very tight in its control and spraying. The internals are very well polished and cleans and flushes quickly. It's less effort and time saved. For the same result, don't get me wrong, you can still get wonderful effort out of a very cheap airbrush, which takes a little more time to polish and get used to. But if you've got cash to burn and want to support an airbrush manufacturer that's changing the game and doing its own distribution, making part fair and easy to acquire, acquire. They do have fancier and more expensive designs and products, but it's yet to be known how they differ to the base model. It's very worthwhile looking into, opened my eyes and has changed my opinion a little bit. There are also other very high quality players entering the market as well, and also very much worth looking into in this competitive marketplace of airbrushes, which I will explore in the future. All in all, I definitely do recommend and endorse this. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. All references and links for purchase on various platforms in the description down below, and we will catch you next time. See you later.